Hey guys, I'll interrupt once again, and welcome to the final and seventh episode of Capital Matchmaking, and we're going to discuss today value strategy. Okay, value strategy. So far, you've had quite a bit of knowledge that you gained from these videos, the first six videos that we discussed, and I'm confident that you learned something that would be, helping you contribute towards, let's say, creating a better business model, more of a business model that will attract the right kind of capital into your business, and hopefully give you some confidence in terms of going out there. Hopefully, if you want to go out there on your own and reach capital, whether through investor or funding solutions, or if you want me to work with you on those type of solutions as well. So this is a very important episode because this will be the cornerstone and the most important value that you'll have to take away for capital matchmaking to make you pretty much irresistible when it comes to going out there and hopefully, handling investors and raising capital for your business. Okay, so this is the lesson on value strategy. Okay, value strategy. So a lot of people will think that, okay, well, yeah, I know I've created a business. I already have a competitive advantage. I already have the market. We did feasibility study. We went through all the exit strategy concepts. We talked about competitive scoring. We talked about team. We talked about infrastructure. We talked about financial disclosures. Now, what is this value strategy that you're talking about, right? So value strategy essentially means that your business, right, the business that you have has to serve, three different categories. Okay, three different categories. And I'm not saying your customers only. Because yes, at the end of the day, right, at the end of the day, when you have a business, you have to serve customers, right? When you have a business, you have to sell to customers. But more importantly, right, what you also need to do is you need to serve investors, right? You need to serve investors, and you also need to serve your market and your customers at the same time. So there are three categories that you have to service. Now, the first one is the investors, because they're the one who's going to be giving you the money, right? Of course, a lot of people will say, oh, the first priority is the customer. Not really. Your customer is a byproduct of a successful product and service that you create, of a successful company you create, because number one, you're already servicing a demand. So end result is your customers will come, right, if you have the right product or service. Now, again, the value has to go within when you're analyzing and putting things together and a deal together. The biggest value that you have to focus on, and the number one value that you have to focus on, is how are you servicing your investors, right? So when it comes to value strategy, a lot of people will think, okay, well, for investors, I'm going to give them a good return. I'm going to give them a good equity ownership. I'm going to give them a good interest rate. No, that's not the way you add value to an investor. These are standard disclosures and standard enticing, financial rules for investors to go into your business in the first place. It's not really something of value. It's just standard. Value, on the other hand, is, okay, well, the investor has A, B, and C company, right? So by adding this company to their portfolio, by having them invest in this through equity or some sort of, financial metric, I'm helping their existing infrastructure or their existing portfolio of companies through A, B, and C. I'm helping them by adding value to their existing portfolio of companies by, let's say, giving them more market share or giving them an alternative to create more revenue for the other businesses by complementing them with this additional buy or product or service. Or let's say giving them more strategic advantage by having my business partner with them for, let's say, against their competitors for A, B, and C. So it takes a little bit more planning, right? It takes a little bit more knowledge to get to that stage. But you need to know this. This is where you're serving your investor. This is the value that you're adding to them. When you discuss that, right? When you discuss that, of course, you cannot tell which investor you're going to be sitting down with or who you're going to be doing. If you're doing capital matchmaking service with myself through Private Wealth Club, then of course you'll have the distinct advantage of knowing this. But end all be all, like end result for yourself is you still need to know this, right? Like it doesn't matter if you don't know your competitors. You have to know, or not your competitors, I apologize, your investors. You still have to know, okay, that this is the value I'm going to be providing my investors. This is the value that my investors are going to walk away from, because by having this particular company in their portfolio or list of companies that they already have, they're basically already competitively balanced. They're already going to be getting so much more benefit. And for that benefit, I think it's worth it for them to invest in my company, because I have all these solutions in the first six episodes that we discussed in capital matchmaking. In addition to that, the investor is getting additional benefit because we're tackling, a competitive advantage against their competitors. We're adding more products or market variety in their existing portfolio. Excuse me, and we're going and acquiring more market share. So that's one of the very important things that you need to focus on when it comes to value strategy. That's the investor is first. Second is your customers, right? So what I mean by that is like when you're going out there and you're creating your products or services, you did your market feasibility, you took some interviews for instance, and you did your research. But beyond that, right, like what more can a customer anticipate? And this is the concept of what we call jobs to be done. And jobs to be done is, a lot of people in the marketing term uses the customer avatar, the buyer's journey, et cetera, et cetera. And it's kind of difficult to know based on somebody's degree or where they live and if they own a dog or not that the right fit for, let's say, product number 671 or whatever it is, right? It's very generic and it's like a far-fetched idea. So the way that we can actually determine what's right for a customer, what's the value add for the customers, because we know for a fact, through those interview processes, through the data that we've gathered, through the metrics that we know for a fact that your competitive advantage is this and that, we can create and alter our products and services and create new infrastructure to complement what you have going to add more value to your customers long term and of course immediately for the short term as well. So yes, you have to think about your customers, but like I said, your first priority should always be your investor. And I say, what kind of value that you offer your investor? How can they benefit from being part of your company and taking your business to the next level? Or now you're going back to, let's say, your customers, and how can you be competitive and offer value to your customers in a way that they cannot get it anywhere else. And these are the things that you really need to consider both on a sentimental and a professional level because your business will depend on these factors, right? And then last but not least, and I want to talk about this because not a lot of companies out there who are actually going out and reaching capital or thinking of raising capital are thinking about this. And I think this will be good for the millennial generation, especially particularly if you're going after young investors. And trust me, the future is within those individuals. And I think it's important that you focus on this. And it's what kind of impact and value, and I'll say it again, what kind of impact and value are you creating to the specific industry and niche that you're in that offers, that competitive advantage, right? So, for example, are you making the industry more regulated, excuse me, for certain levels of things like, initial coin offerings and all that kind of stuff with Bitcoin? Your company, is it actually adding a significant value to the industry by having or helping regulators create more standard protocols, et cetera, et cetera? Or, for example, let's say you're in the electric car business, right? And you're offering a competitive pricing so that in the industry it becomes more affordable, it becomes more standardized. Are you pushing that? Are you helping the government kind of see that this is a better idea, and you're working with the government closely to implement certain strategies and tactics? Now, having a market value add, for example, or the niche value add or the industry that you're in, is one of the biggest things that'll drive young investors and even the old ones, right? Like the seniors who are out there who are in their business or their own family offices and they're doing impact investment and philanthropy. I think that you can do a lot of contributions to that. But if you define the market value that you offer, the industry value that you offer, and the impact that you're going to create, and the outcomes that you're going to create through those strategic value adds, you'll have a much higher chance of raising capital, especially if you consider all the elements that we discussed throughout this entire series. Okay, so that was my final episode. That was episode 7, Value Strategy for Capital Matchmaking. Again, my name is Ali Rafter. I'm your guide and mentor. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Turn the notification on so every time we upload a new video, you'll be one of the first to be notified. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I look forward to hearing from you. I hope this series was helpful. I look forward to offering more value and content throughout the next few days. Okay, this is Ali Director. Once again, your guide and mentor. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.